Hey everyone, this is Jerry with another car commentary. This is a kind of important one, so I'm going to leave it up to you to share it. I was riding to work today and I had some thoughts, and when I got to work I continued to mull those thoughts over. And then during lunch and part of the day I started doing a little research, and it verified what I thought. I've been thinking about a problem that we've had in this country for quite a while now, and it affects every single one of you out there. And I pray it doesn't affect you in a personal way, but everything I see, everything that is happening in America today leads me to believe every one of us is going to experience the horrible tragedy of knowing someone that commits suicide. You know, we in America, we have this epidemic of suicide. We don't understand that more people die in America because of suicide than murder, than homicide. But that's not, that's kind of, well, people give up, they jump off the globe, they quit, stuff happens that makes people get so hopeless. That just happens. I mean, it's life. It's always been that way. But there has been a trend over the last 5 or 6 years, actually over the last 10 years. My research, I went from 2002 to 2014, and I noticed this trend, that a certain particular group of people is committing suicide at an alarming rate, at an epidemic rate. And these are somebody you love. Somebody that you know fits into this category. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you there are many people that you know and that you love that fit directly into this category. Did you know that more than 45,000 suicides last year? Did you know that 7 out of 10 people who commit suicide are white American men? 70% of the people who kill themselves in this country are white American men. That the numbers show that the ages from 35 to 65 are the worst ages, and that the numbers from 45 to 55 have gone up every year for the last 10 years. Whereas suicide rates for teenagers, which is horrible, it's 10%, 11%, it stays steady within a point, within a half a point, within 0.001%, it stays fairly steady. And it goes that way until it hits men about 25 years old, 35 years old. It starts to rise by 3%. But men 55 years, 45 to 55, 55 to 65, their rate of suicide has gone up by 5%, 6%. So their rate of suicide has gone up double in proportion to everyone else. When 7 out of 10 suicides are a white man putting a gun to his brain and blowing his brains out, or however he does it, you have to address the issue. You have to say what's going on. I've said it for years. We focused so much on yay women, women's rights and all that we threw out a generation of men, and now that generation of men is 35, 45, 55 years old, and they don't know where the hell they belong. They feel unloved. They feel stuck. They feel like, they got kids that love them and their wife love them, but they're not what they thought they'd be. And no one gives a damn. No one cares. No one understands that we were raised, guys, I'm going to speak for guys my age. We were raised with John Wayne as a hero. We were raised with masculinity being celebrated. We were raised with men were men, and that, hey, sometimes you had to punch somebody in the mouth. These are things I understand society has done away with. But now we've changed it so much that being a man's man makes you a bigot, a homophobe, makes you a misogynist. It makes you evil. It makes you unemployable. It means you got to go work in the construction field. If you're a cop, you got to be an effeminate cop. I mean, it makes it so that all masculinity is frowned upon. But yet you have a generation of men, like the generations before them, that were raised with masculinity being a positive thing. And so what's happening is they're jumping off the planet. Your dads, your husbands, your sons, your brothers. Women have been fighting so long for women's rights, yay, women, that they forgot something. They left men behind. And they put them in a corner. Right? And they say, I told this to someone today, and they said, well, men had it their way throughout history. No, they didn't. Each generation had it their way. Each generation lived their way. But this generation of men, they didn't do nothing wrong. They didn't beat their wives. They didn't own slaves. They didn't do these things. They were raised to be men. And society has told them, you don't belong anymore. And so every day, every few hours, another guy decides to take his life. I know 5 people, 6 people personally that have committed suicide. Fathers that had things to live for. They just didn't fit in. So it's up to you. The government's not going to do it. The television's not going to do it. Look at the television shows. How many television shows and movies now have the woman is the superhero? And everybody knows that the guy's going to kick her ass in real life, but the woman is now the strong lead and the physical beating up the guy. Look at how many commercials are on TV that degrade fatherhood, that make us look stupid. Look at how many shows make us look stupid. It's insane how this country has taken the very foundation of it, the very people who defend it. 85,000 veterans have committed suicide in the last 10 years. 85,000. That's nuts. The number actually might be 185,000. But you daughters, you mothers, you sisters, you gotta do something. If you got a man that's 40-something years old, he's in a dangerous category. If you got a man that's between 35 and 60, he is in a dangerous category. He is the number one guy to commit suicide. You gotta find a way to make him feel valuable. You gotta find a way to make him feel like a man. To say it's okay to be a man. To let him be a man. Look at this election coming up, and I'll stop with this. Look at how many times one side will say, I'm for women. And the other one will say, well, I'm for women. And then they'll accuse me, you're against women. And there's not enough, I've heard how many times in this election from the Democrat side, there's not enough white men to elect Donald Trump. No, there's not. They're killing themselves by the tens of thousands. These are your co-workers, your friends. Somebody's going to be John Doe here. Somebody's got to stand up and say something. It's got to be you. Have a good day.